Hey guys, this is Nathan and welcome back to HermitPack. So, I did a little bit of adjusting to our hopper that tells these generators when they're going to be pumping power into the capacitor bank. I've got it up to about 65%, and this is actually working properly. Everything seems to be going real good with that. We have a lot of bread available, 11.8 thousand bread. No problems there, but we have a new problem, and that is that we are basically out of redstone. We have a lot of ore, but we have no dust. Also, we have no iron, and we're low on a lot of other things. So, in order to get some of that stuff going, we want to start getting into some ore doubling, tripling, things like that, and we're going to be doing that with Mekanism, if I can spell it here. So Mekanism has a wonderful ability to be able to double, triple, quadruple, and even quintuple ores, and so that's going to come in really handy for a lot of the stuff that we need here. Now, if we take some redstone ore and take a look at the uses on this, and I have a lot of redstone ore on me. I did a little bit of mining, got a whole bunch of redstone ore, some diamonds, some iron, a lot of stuff that we're going to be using here in a little bit. And also, you probably saw it in the last episode. In this chest here, I have a bunch of nether diamonds, cobalt, and ardite. I took a trip to the nether, got a whole bunch of cobalt, and really the only way that we can make the cobalt into ingots is with the Tinker's Smeltery. So we're going to have to be moving that up to the surface here soon. But Mekanism, we want to get this going here. So the redstone ore, if I grab one of these again, look at the uses on this guy. We can smelt it for one. Very bad use of redstone ore. We can run it through the sag mill and get redstone, or 8 redstone, a 20% chance of a ninth, 80% chance of silicone, and a 15% chance of cobblestone. That's not real bad, but we can do a lot better. So the extra utilities crusher will give us 8 also, but the enrichment chamber from Mekanism will give us 12 redstone. Now this is the best that we can do for redstone ore. So we're going to make the enrichment chamber first. So let's take a look at the enrichment chamber. So the enrichment chamber is basic control circuit, redstone, iron ingots, and a steel casing. The steel casing... Where are you at? Osmium block. Where is the steel casing? Right here. So the steel casing takes steel or refined iron, or what is it called from Industrial Craft? I guess it's called steel on Industrial Craft 2. But it takes steel, glass, and osmium. Now we have all of that. I have accidentally smelted some iron, and that gives us the Tech Reborn steel. So we can make that pretty easy. Let's go ahead and make up one of these. Or something. Well, let's check. Steel. We have electrical steel, dark steel. Let's try refined. Yeah, we do have some of the refined iron. This probably won't work. Nope. Okay, so before we can make the enrichment chamber, then we're going to have to make some steel. So, steel. If we take a look at steel, let's see here. We want... I'm not sure which one of these we want. There should be one from Mekanism here. Somewhere. Tech Reborn. Okay, the Mekanism steel block. So, Mekanism steel is made by smelting steel dust. Steel dust is made by running enriched iron ore with coal or carbon of some kind through the metallurgic infuser. Enriched iron is made by running an iron ingot with compressed iron or compressed coal or charcoal, something through the metallurgic infuser. So we're going to have to make the metallurgic infuser first. So the metallurgic infuser also takes a steel casing. Well, how do we make a steel casing without having steel? So we may have to figure out some other things on how to make steel. So what else do we have available? So steel, we have the Mekanism steel, Tech Reborn steel, industrial craft steel. How do we make industrial craft steel? How do we make molten steel? And this is a pain in the butt. Well, let me see if I can figure out how to make steel here. And then we can finally move on to making some of our Mekanism stuff. Okay, so I started looking through here, and I was still looking at the recipe for the enrichment chamber. That's kind of dumb on my part. But the metallurgic infuser is quite a ways over here. This actually just takes furnaces, iron, redstone, and osmium. Now, we have all of that. Well, we don't have any iron. So let's take a look at some iron. We're just going to grab a little bit of our iron ore, and we'll use our auto smelting hammer on this stuff. And let's go ahead and grab a builder's wand. This will speed things up here a lot. So we'll go ahead and place down a whole bunch of the iron. And now we need our auto smelting hammer. That is right here. And there we go. So now we can do this, and this will give us a fair amount of return on our iron ore, but not near as good as we can get later on in Mekanism. So usually we get 2.5 to 3 iron ingots per ore out of that. We could use the smeltery to get more, but yeah, we're going to try to get quite a bit more later, and I just put my sack of holding in here. Whoops, or sack of storage. Okay, so this is going to give us the metallurgic infuser. We're going to go ahead and take some charcoal, and then we're going to take some iron, and we're going to make this into steel. So let's go downstairs and we'll set this up. And where do we want to set this up? I suppose for now whoops, that's not right. For now I'm going to set it up right here just so that we have power. We're going to throw in the charcoal, and this will slowly fill this up with carbon, and then we can throw in some iron ingots. Now these do have speed upgrades and things like that. We don't have any right now. We also have a muffling upgrade. That's nice. So if we look at the upgrades for this thing, and I think we can actually go Mekanism and then go upgrade, and it'll just show us the Mekanism upgrade. So we have the speed upgrade, which takes osmium dust, glass, and enriched alloy. Now the enriched alloy is redstone and iron in the metallurgic infuser, so we won't be able to do that right away. But this is going to take a little bit. Maybe we can put a torcherino on there to speed things up. Where did I put my torcherinos? I think they're in this bag. No? Did I just not see them here? I don't know. Well, we have one here for the furnace. I suppose we can take it. Let's go ahead and drop a torcherino here beside this guy. We'll set it to 3x3 and speed it up to 4 times. Yep, that's going quite a bit faster. So I'm going to let this run through, make the enriched iron, then I'll make the steel dust and smelt that down into steel ingots, and then we can continue on. So I've got a stack of steel made up now, 1 stack of iron ingots and 1 stack of charcoal will make 1 stack of steel. So we've got that. I also made up the basic control circuits and the enriched iron. Like I said, these are redstone with iron ingots and redstone with osmium ingots. So those are pretty simple. Next up, we're going to make this enrichment chamber. So we need the steel casing, and let's see if we can find this here. I don't know why they have it set up like this, but we'll make a couple of steel casings, and then we can make up our enrichment chamber. Like I said, the enrichment chamber is going to give us a really good return on our redstone ore, so we're going to grab a whole bunch of this redstone ore, and we're going to get this running through this machine. Now I set up conduits over here for power, and we're going to set this up here. Now one thing, might do this right away. So the factory here, yeah, we're going to do that right away. We're going to make this into a factory. So the factory will do 3 operations instead of 1, which is really handy, and it'll get things done faster. We need the enrichment chamber, some redstone, iron, and some basic control circuits to make this into a factory. So we're going to go ahead and grab that, and we'll place this down over here. This will make this go a lot faster. We have power, and we're going to set this to auto sort right away. And if we drop these in now, we can see this is really going to produce tons of redstone in very short order. So that's really nice. Like I said, we get 12 per ore. It's going to come in really handy. We can't even come close to that with Fortune 3. So, gonna let this run and do its thing. Now for the iron. So let's go ahead and look at our iron ore, and we'll look at how do we need to get this stuff doubled or tripled. I think we're going to go for tripling at the bare minimum here right now. So drop that off in there. So let's take a look at the uses on iron. So we can smelt it, get 1. The smeltery gives 3. Not bad. But what we want to do is go into... Okay, the enrichment chamber will give us 2 iron dust. Now these can be smelted and give us iron ingots. Yeah, not real bad, but if we go to the purification chamber, this will give us an iron clump. The iron clump can be run through a crusher, turned into dirty iron dust, and the dirty iron dust then run through the enrichment chamber to give us iron dust. So that will give us ore tripling, and that'll give us the same level of ore production as the smeltery, but we'll be using power instead of lava to run that. So let's go ahead and take a look at what it's going to take to make these guys now. So now we need the crusher. I know we need that. So the crusher takes, let's see if we can find it here. Why do they have... Yeah, JEI doesn't quite give this properly, so we need some lava buckets, a steel casing, basic control circuits, and redstone. Now I don't think we have any lava buckets. Let's just take a look here. No, we don't. So do we have any buckets? Yes, we do have a couple of buckets, so we'll grab a couple of these and we'll head over to the smeltery and rain. Wonderful. So let's go ahead and head over to the smeltery, and we have our lava drums over here, and I think I'm just going to grab a couple of these and bring them into the base, or at least one of them. Suppose we'll just... Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I think we'll take 2 of them. We'll take this into the base, and we shouldn't have any issues with lava for a while at least. So let's get in here, we'll grab a couple of buckets of lava, and we should be able to make this up now. So let's get down here so we can get rid of that rain noise. So we have the lava drums, we'll just set these out here, and grab a couple of buckets of lava. Can I not... What? Can't grab lava back out of these? That seems like that's not working properly, because I was able to grab it out earlier. Well, let me try to figure out what's going on here, and I will be back in a little bit. So I don't know for sure what was going on there that I couldn't pick up the lava out of this drum, but we can pick it up out of an Ender IO tank. But to transfer from the drum to the Ender IO tank, I had to make some fluid conduits. Now these are made with quite clear glass, which is just putting 3 pieces of glass into the alloy smelter. Not that big of a deal. And then we get some conduit binder, and that'll make our fluid conduits. But we can go ahead and make what we needed now, and I cannot even remember what it was that I was trying to make anymore. So we had the crusher, I think. I guess it doesn't really matter. We can pull up one and it'll show them all, which seems kind of dumb to me. Yep, so we need our crusher, and that will give us that. So the other thing that we needed was the... what was it? Not the enriching. Well, let's take a look at the uses on our iron ore again. The purification chamber. So actually that takes an enriching chamber. So where is it? Chemical oxidizer purification chamber. So for this we're going to need advanced control circuits, and this is basic control circuits with enriched iron. So fairly simple. Let's just look that up. So the enriching chamber. No, not the enriching chamber. Darn it. Purification chamber. Right here. Purification chamber. Oh, I wish that JEI worked properly. So, where are you? Alright, so we need the advanced control circuits. Let's make up 2 of those. We are now out of regular control circuits. That kind of sucks. So, we're going to need another enrichment chamber too. Yep, I'm going to have to make some more of these control circuits. I think that was osmium, so I'm going to get that done, and then I will be back. So I'll be honest, I've gotten a little tired of fighting with JEI, trying to figure out where all this stuff is for Mekanism, so I went ahead and set up some patterns here. So we have the steel casing, the enrichment chamber, and then I've also set up the purification chamber up here. So, the crafter recipe is still in there. Okay, so if we look up the purification, we can craft this up now. We'll go ahead and make one of these, and it says we're missing an enrichment chamber. What's it going to do if we start it anyway? Probably stop on the enrichment chamber? Well, let's go ahead and make the enrichment chamber then. So if we craft this guy, looks like we have everything there, so yeah, that's crafting up. We'll just see if that runs into the purification chamber once it's finished. The one thing that I don't like about this is this crafting system is rather slow, and all the speed upgrades really increase power consumption. So doesn't really look like that's working. Here, let's take a look at the purification chamber again. So let's go ahead and start that. It still says we're missing an enrichment chamber. So, that is just odd. Well, let's go ahead and just do this manually then. This is kind of annoying having to dig through here all the time. So there's that, and then we have to actually look up the purification or enrichment. So there's our clicking the wrong buttons. So there's our purification chamber. Now we want to make this into a basic factory just because we're going to increase our production that way. So there we go, basic purifying factory. Now the next thing that we need in order to make this work is some oxygen. Well, for that we need, what is that, an electrolytic separator. So the electrolytic separator takes a basic fluid tank, basic gas tank, energy tablets, basic circuits, and glass. So the basic fluid tank, once again, Mekanism being stupid. Here we go. The basic fluid tank is iron and redstone. Not all that big of a deal. Oh, that's the condensator anyway. Stupid thing. So we don't need that tank. Okay, we need an electrolytic core, enriched alloy, redstone, and iron. Mekanism is just going to be stupid. Wow, that's the first time I've ever seen two things in one crafting spot to make something work. So we need gold dust, iron dust, enriched iron alloy, or enriched alloy, and osmium dust. Well, we don't have the gold dust or the iron dust. So we're going to have to pulverize a little of that. So if we look up gold, we'll grab one gold ingot here and iron. I guess we have an iron in our inventory. So let's go ahead and head down here. Wow, that was interesting. So if we put this into the crusher, no. How about the enriching factory? That should work. There we go. So gold dust and iron dust. And then we also need the osmium dust. So do we have any osmium? Yes, we have quite a bit of that. So I'm just going to run the rest of this, or a good portion of it, through this. We'll put that much in. That should work. So we'll grab a little bit of osmium dust. That should be what we need to make this. So now we need to make our electrolytic core. Now why does it show that we need 2 dust and it only needs 1? Interesting. Okay, well, we're going to grab our electrolytic core. And then the electrolytic separator. Where is that? Did I miss it? I must have. There it is. So let's see if this will work. Yes, it will. Okay, there's our electrolytic separator. Now the other thing that we need is the electric pump. And this is going to bring water into our electrolytic separator and once again digging through Mekanism. So this is going to take a steel casing, enriched iron, a bucket, and osmium ingots. The steel casing, which we should have a recipe for that. Oh, as long as we're not standing upstairs, we don't have that recipe. So we may have to get a little bit of stuff figured out here. Let's go ahead and craft up 10 of those. That should work. We have enough of everything. Now, unfortunately, I can't move from this spot until this is finished, which that kind of stinks. Oh, it did them in tandem. That's nice. So now we should be able to grab our steel casing and electric pump. There we go. So that's all of that stuff. Now the last thing that we need is water. And I suppose we'll set this over here. Set one there, and we'll need one more water. Run outside real quick and grab this. Can't teleport there, you'll suffocate. So now we have our water for an infinite source. That's pretty nice. So this infinite source will be what our pump is going to be running off of. And now I know there was some goofy stuff about how these pumps sit. And I don't remember everything about it. I think we have to place it up against something like that. And then this is our power input. So let's go ahead and run some energy conduit around here. And that should start the pump working. Yep, so the pump is bringing in water. And then we need our electrolytic separator on top of this. So this should be getting water. And yep, we are getting hydrogen and oxygen. Now, I don't know for sure which side is which on this thing. So we may have to figure that out. And hopefully the pressurized gas or pressurized liquid conduits from Ender.io will work for this. Let's just try a fluid conduit real quick. I don't know that this is going to work. So if we go to extract, will this put gas into something? Let's see here. Let's just make up a gas cylinder here and just see what happens. So, gas. So, basic gas cylinder, that's pretty simple. So, these gas cylinders have no it will not connect up with that. So here is our option right now. We can take this basic gas cylinder and put it in here, and it will pull out the oxygen, and then we can dump the hydrogen. And where is that dumping? I don't know. But so this will slowly fill up with oxygen, and we'll be able to use that. So I think what I'm going to have to do is let this sit for a while and get a whole bunch of oxygen, and then we can actually start running some ore through this. And I've been setting these up. We're setting up for output on the left side and usually input on the right side, but we're going to have nothing on the right side of this one. So this one here will take our inputs from the output of that, and then once it's done, we'll push into this one, and we'll have everything pretty much figured out. So I'm going to let this get a whole bunch of oxygen for us, and then I'll be back. So, simple solution. I went ahead and made some of the Mekanism basic pressurized tubes. These transfer 256 millibuckets per tick. So, there's no reason why we can't get this stuff moving through here. Now, we've already filled up the purifying factory. The pipe is full, and now we are filling tanks. Now, I upgraded these to advanced gas tanks, and I also put one in for the hydrogen so that we can save that, because that is going to be needed later on for other things. So we have all of this oxygen in here. We have a whole bunch of iron ore in our inventory. Let's go ahead and turn auto sort on and drop this stuff in here. So we'll start to see iron clumps coming in here, and wow, that really took out the power fast. So I think, yeah, I forgot to turn auto eject on these guys. So this one needs the auto sort put on, and that's set up. So now we have this working. And yeah, that is pretty cool. We are tripling our iron without having to use tinkers. So that's pretty cool. I think what we're going to do for now is drop this in here and look at how fast it uses that oxygen. So we may have to set up a few more of these electrolytic separators so that we can get enough oxygen to make this run at full speed, but we shouldn't need it all the time. So what I may want to do is set up a couple of these advanced tanks, or even the next tier up. So if we take a look at these, the next tier, the elite tanks, they take reinforced alloy. The reinforced alloy takes diamond dust or crushed diamonds plus enriched alloy in the metallurgic infuser. Now, I always thought that we could make, compressed diamond. So this is just running a diamond through the enrichment chamber, so we can do that now too. So, I might do a little bit of that, get some storage here for our oxygen, because we are running out there, and we are running out of power. So I think we're using more power than our cables can handle. So we might have to put in a new set of cables on the, whatever these are, the elite ones, or I can't remember what that is, the conduit. The enhanced energy conduits, so that we can transfer more power over here to these guys. Either that, or we're going to need to get some upgrades. And I suppose that might be the easiest thing to do. So if we take a look at Mekanism upgrades. So the one that we need more than anything is the energy upgrade. That's gold powder, enriched alloy, and glass. So yeah, we might make up a bunch of those. So I think I'm going to get that done, and I'll be back in a little bit. So I've made a few more upgrades here. I added speed and energy upgrades to all of these machines. Now, I added some speed upgrades to the electrolytic separator, and we couldn't keep up with power production. So I only have one speed upgrade in here. It is increasing the speed a little, but it's also doubled the power usage. We're now using 320 RF a tick on this guy, and that is quite a bit of power. Now, we do have a full hydrogen tank here, and I think we're actually going to take this oxygen tank and put it over there for hydrogen, and we're going to drop that right there. We'll end up with a stack of tanks for hydrogen over here in the corner, I think. So I did upgrade a bunch of the tanks to elite gas tanks, and that required me to put some diamond here in the metallurgic infuser and put that with the enriched alloy. Now, in order to make the diamond go further, I ran it through the basic enriching factory, where 1 diamond will then turn into 80 compressed diamond, and the compressed diamond will do... It ends up being 8 times as many items for the same input. So 1 diamond, if we put 1 diamond directly into the metallurgic infuser, we can do 1 enriched alloy into the, I can't even remember, it's right here, the reinforced alloy. But if we run it through the enriching factory first, we can get 8. So yeah, that's pretty nifty. So we have couple of elite gas tanks here. These guys are slowly filling. It's going to take a long time for these to fill up. And yeah, we have finally addressed our issue of no iron and no redstone. So we have close to 7,000 redstone now. We have 1.2 thousand iron, and we still have a lot of iron ore to run through. We still have about 300 iron ore, which is going to equate to another 600 or so ingots by the time it's all said and done. So we'll be close to 2,000 iron by the time that is all processed. But it's going to take a little while for that hydrogen and oxygen to be, well, I guess the oxygen mainly, to be separated. So I'm going to have to let that do its thing, and then I'll worry about it later. And our power systems are working really good. Now, we did end up using too much power out of this thing, and you can see, well, for a second there we were inputting more. But we're using power faster than the culinary generator is generating it, so periodically it is taking a little bit of power from our furnace generator. So the system is working exactly as I figured it would, and that is great. But we are out of time, so I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to give a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any thoughts or tips or just want to say hi, be sure to leave that down in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye!